Thank you very much for participating in the third quarter financial results video conference of the Bucharest Stock Exchange. To jump into the presentations from our side during this presentation will be Virgil Stroia, our CFO, Răzvan Silaghi, who joined our team recently as a deputy CFO, and Cristina Rădulescu, who's manager in terms of financial controlling. I am Alexandru Ștefan, and I'm managing market data and indices for the exchange and in charge with the investor relations. Please allow me to share our presentation. Okay, so an update in terms of our stock market price. So we are currently sitting at the price of, at the end of September this year, we're currently sitting at 39.7 RON. In terms of market capitalization, that means 350 million RON. We have seen since the start of the year, we have seen some increase in the trading of our stock. From the start of if we are looking over a period of 5 years, the increase in price is of 76%. If we compare that to the BET index, the main index of the Bucharest Stock Exchange, which is 137%, we're underperforming. Nevertheless, if we look at the current stock market price, which is sitting at 43 RON, we are up 6% from the start of the year. In terms of our shareholding structure, it is relatively stable. The number of shareholders is relatively flat. I will jump into the next slide. We have seen this year an increase. Actually, in the third quarter, we have seen an increase in our trading activity. If we look at all the instruments, we have seen increased activity also in the fixed income instruments and also the IRO market. Some key developments that happened this quarter. As I mentioned, total liquidity of all instruments was close to 11 billion RON. This is up 11% compared to the previous year. We had 3 Fidelis issues of bonds that attracted 5.4 billion RON, up more than 20% compared to the previous year. We had some significant IPOs of bonds of Electrica as well as Banca Transilvania, accumulating 2 billion RON. In terms of the main market index, it performs very well. At the end of September, the return is of 28%, while in terms of the total return is 35%. Since that period, the main index has increased significantly. Now is up 38%, while the total return version is up more than 45%. In terms of the following quarter, we are positive about the following quarter, as we have seen increased activity for the primary market. And here we can point out the IPO of Christine, which was successfully finalized. So this is an offer of 454 million RONs. We have seen a considerable oversubscription on the retail tranche of this IPO. It was 40 times the size of the retail tranche, while the overall offer was oversubscribed more than 5 times. Also, the Ministry of Finance will continue with the monthly issuance of fidelis. Other updates that we would like to share first would be regarding the development in terms of the International Stock Exchange of Moldova. We have recently signed the shareholding agreement along with 10 other strategic partners from Republic of Moldova for, of course, for the launch of the International Stock Exchange of Moldova. This has been a key milestone. We're expecting this operationalization to happen around the half of next year. Also, we have recently had an extraordinary shareholders meeting this week, and the shareholders have approved the following. First, to mandate the Bucharest Stock Exchange Board of Governors to grant a mandate to express the vote for, on behalf of the Bucharest Stock Exchange, in the increase of share capital of CCP.RO Bucharest. This is for ensuring the maintenance of the share of the Bucharest Stock Exchange in the share capital of CCP.RO Bucharest. The second, there will be a share capital increase through cash contributions for a maximum amount of 7 million RON. The purpose of the share capital increase is to finance BVB's development plans, including the capitalization of CCP.RO Bucharest, as well as the financing of the project for the International Stock Exchange of Moldova. One last update from our side is that the CCP.RO Bucharest shareholders have elected a new board of directors at the end of October, so on 30th of October 2025. In terms of the financial presentations, I will invite Cristina Rădulescu to make the presentation.
Thank you, Alex. The third quarter of 2025 was a strong one on both individual but also at consolidated level. In terms of operating revenues, there was a significant increase in the volumes traded on secondary market with high impact on our trading revenues, but also due to the significant public offers finalized in Q3. Regarding post-trading revenues realized by Depozitarul Central are up 11% compared with the previous quarter of the quarter of previous year, and are based on higher values of the portfolio and the increase in operations provided. At individual level, except the impact from the trading revenues, we also have a positive evolution on market data revenues, and which are up 20%, and the issuer revenues up 6%. At operating expenses level, main development comes from the consolidated expenses, which increased 16% due to the new cost incurred by CCP in the authorization and operationalization process. Operating profit increases at a standalone level in Q3 2005, exceeding 5.7 million RON, and respectively reaching 4 million at consolidated level. Bottom line also is impacted by the increase in operating revenues, reaching almost 5 million RON on both individual and consolidated level. Moving on to the results for the first 9 months of 2025. In terms of operating revenue at individual level, there is an increase of 2%, reaching 30 million RON. And this is mainly due to the developments on market data revenues, which increased 12% up to 4 million RON, and issuer taxes, which are up, reaching the amount of 4.5 million RON. And at the level of trading revenues, the evolution is constant compared with the previous period. As although the traded volumes increased in the second and third quarter of 2005, the lower volumes recorded on the first quarter determined a decrease of 7% in shares regular transactions, which impacted also the trading revenues. Also in 9 months 2025, we had an increase, an unexpected increase on the public offers revenue coming from the significant public offers, especially the one from Purcari, finalized in Q3 2025 with a significant impact on the public offers revenues. At the operating expenses level, at the individual level, the amount recorded on the first 9 months of 2025 are 21 million, similar level compared with 9 months 2024. This is generated by lower variable expenses, especially other operating expenses, due to lower marketing expenses, and also some one-offs recorded in 9 months 2025, which were compensated by higher personnel costs recorded in 2025 due to higher number of employees and annual indexation performed. Operating profit for BVB individual reaches 9.2 million RON, 7% decrease compared with previous year. And it's mainly influenced by the evolution of trading revenues in the third quarter of 2025. Other financial income is increasing by 15%, reaching 4.5 million, and is mainly influenced by the dividends income from Depozitarul Central. Loss from the impairment of BVB participation in CCP remains at the same level recorded as of June 2025 of 6.6 million. Following the test performed and the information received from CCP, there were no material changes in the value of BVB participation as of September 2025. The net profit at standalone level in 9 months 2025 is an amount of 5.6 million RON. Moving on to the consolidated figures, operating revenues in the first 9 months of 2025 exceed 60 million RON, up 5% compared with previous year, and the increase is mainly driving from the developments of post-trading and registry segments, which recorded increase of 2.5 million compared with previous period. Operating expenses at consolidated level are in amount of 56.7 million, 19% increase compared with 9 months 2024, and the increase is mainly due to the operating expenses recorded by CCP.RO regarding the technology services and maintenance of clearing system, but also coming from the completion of the personnel scheme. Operating profit at consolidated level reaches 3.6 million, significant decrease compared with previous period, but are mainly due to the new cost recorded by CCP this year. Net financial income is an amount of 3.8 million RON, and it's a slight decrease of 4% compared to previous period. Consolidated net profit is an amount of 6.3 million, a decrease of 40% compared with previous period, and it's a direct impact from the operating profit. Regarding the operating revenues at group level on segments, trading segment represents 50% from the total group revenue, out of which trading revenues represent 68%. Post-trading segment has the highest operating margin and represents 33% from the total. In 9 months 2025 has reached the amount of 20 million RON. Registry segment revenues is an amount of 10 million RON, and also recorded an increase in 2025, and is based mainly on higher tariffs and increase of number of operations provided. In detail, a little bit in detail on operating expenses at individual level. As I mentioned, there is a similar level compared with previous period, but this is a net between the increase in personnel costs, as mentioned, mainly due to the increase in the number of employees in order to fulfill the regulations and the operational activity, but also to the annual indexation performed in April this year. This increase was compensated by by lower operating expenses by 12%, due to some one-off expenses recorded in 2024 related to the relocation of the headquarters and lower marketing, promotion, and protocol expenses. At consolidated level, operating expenses increased by 90%, or almost 9 million RON, And as I mentioned, they are mostly due to new expenses recorded by CCP in the authorization in order to fulfill the authorization requirements. This represent mainly third-party services of almost 6 million RON, 4 million RON increase compared with the previous period, and represent clearing system management services and audits and technical functional tests. Also other operating expenses of 5 million RON, 3.5 million RON increase, and mainly they are mainly generated by the new depreciation and amortization expenses and IT maintenance expenses. Personal costs also had a increase of 500,000 RON, mainly resulting from the completion of the required personal scheme. The increase is sustained also by the increase in personal expenses at group level, and they are mainly generated by the increase in personnel from BVB, but also by the annual adjustment performed at group level. Moving on to the financial position at the end of September. Main developments come from the recording at BVB standalone, comes from the recording of the impairment in as of 6 months 2025 of 6.6 million. And also by the decrease in receivables following the receipt of dividend from depository depositarul central, which generated an increase in liquidities that can be noticed especially at financial assets side and bank deposits. Total liabilities has a decrease of are in amount of almost 18 million RON, out of which current liabilities of 9 million RON, a 7% increase coming from the trade payables mainly. At group level, non-current assets decrease by 4% compared with the beginning of the year, and they are mainly influenced by the evolution of financial investments, while the tangible assets increase due to investments made in trading infrastructure and intangible assets from CCP. Current assets are up 15% and is mainly driven by the evolution of current liquidities. I think these are the main points to be highlighted for this quarter. If you have any questions for us.
Dacă aveți întrebări, să ne puneți. So the operational quarter, the operational results in the third quarter were good results, can we say, at the level of the trading and the post-trading activities. As you saw, they were influenced by the expenses incurred at our subsidiary CCP.RO. There were no extraordinary events or other special elements to be mentioned that influenced the results of the quarter. These were the mainly variations and the mainly figures presented by our colleagues.
Okay, if there are no further questions, we would like to thank you very much for participating in the third quarter financial results presentation of the Bucharest Stock Exchange. We will publish the presentation on our website. And if you need any other information, we stand ready to reply to you and to answer any queries over email or over phone if needed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.